The race for 2024 is on, and President Biden thinks the way to stay in office is to brag about his economic record. The president spoke Thursday to supporters in South Carolina. Take a listen.
Since I took office, we've attracted $500 billion, $497 billion in private investment in American manufacturing, both here and around the world. It's historic. And it's Bidenomics in action. Instead of exporting jobs to cheaper labor costs, what we did for decades, we're creating jobs here and exporting American product, not jobs. That's the story here in South Carolina.
But branding advisor Marc Rudov says quite the opposite. Let's take a look at what he said. Basically, that the only people benefiting from Bidenomics are the Bidens, enriching the Bidens, impoverishing Americans. Marc joins us now, along with public finance economist, Heritage Foundation member E.J. Antoni. Thank you so much for being with us. Marc, explain what you meant right there.
Well, we've seen Biden and his family members getting millions and millions of dollars from Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Romania, China, and they're doing very, very well. On a government salary, he has, what, 4 mansions and very nice clothes, Rolex watches. And we look at what's happened to Americans. Prices have increased, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, prices have increased 15% since Biden took office. And that's overall, that's rent, that's heat, that's gas, that's everything, that's food. And so he's going around selling this bull crap to America that he's been doing well. Real wages have been decreasing for the past 26 months in a row. So, I mean, he's lying. And the thing is, lying has become normalized. And so he doesn't feel any compunction about lying. The June jobs report, 209,000 jobs. It's the worst it's been since 2020 under the pandemic. And most of those jobs went to foreigners and illegals. So we have this dichotomy between enriching the Bidens and impoverishing Americans. And yet he goes around selling it because he's so used to lying. I mean, look what happened with the cocaine in the White House. He sent out Karine Jean Pinocchio to tell Americans that the Bidens weren't even home when the Secret Service found it. Well, it turns out they were home. So, you know, there's a list of lies. You go all the way down. He said he inherited a catastrophic economy from Trump when it was going up 6%. So it's lie after lie after lie after lie. And after a while, people who watch CNN and MSNBC believe those lies.
Absolutely. I always keep saying this, and people need to understand whoever controls the message controls the masses. And basically, the left-wing media, CNN, MSDNC, they're working in concert with the Biden administration, burying stories, giving it a different spin. Fortunately, some Americans aren't buying what Biden is selling. An Associated Press poll found that only 34% approve of his handling of the economy. E.J. Antoni, what do you make of that? And also, to Marc's point, you got Biden bragging about the jobs report, 209,000 jobs added, but they went to illegals and foreigners. These are low-wage, low-paying jobs. Why is he bragging about that?
Well, in terms of the job approval numbers, frankly, I think it's a miracle that even a third of Americans approve of the job that the president is doing currently. Look at real wages, for example. They're down 5% under this president. In other words, your paycheck is getting bigger, but it buys you less because prices are going up so much faster than wages. That is Bidenomics. In terms of these jobs, we're actually not even sure the economy added any jobs last month once you start really digging into the data, because you find, for example, when you look at like multiple job holders increasing and you look at the number of part-time jobs versus full-time jobs, you realize that increasingly businesses are not making full-time jobs available. Instead, they're only hiring part-time, but people increasingly want full-time work because they can't make it from paycheck to paycheck. They can't make ends meet, which is why they're going out and getting a second or even a third job. And the BLS, Biden's department, or Biden's Bureau of Labor Statistics, counts every single one of those additional jobs, even though it's the same person, they count it as another job added. So again, once you actually start digging into these numbers, you find things are nowhere near as rosy as the president is portraying. Look at the clip that we listened to just a moment ago, where he was talking about construction money, construction spending here in the United States. Most of that money, although it's technically private spending, is only happening because the government is paying businesses to do it. So it's just playing a game here, essentially, where the president is saying one thing, but the reality is totally different.
Marc, we're running out of time. We only have about 20 seconds. Biden's energy policy, his attack on the fossil fuel industry, how detrimental is that as well to our economy?
Well, it's very detrimental. That's part of why the prices have risen 15%. You heard what Trump said at the CNN town hall. Somebody from the audience asked him, what would you do to help fix this economy? And he said, drill, baby, drill. I mean, our U.S. national debt is $32.5 trillion, but our GDP is only $26 trillion. We are upside down. Everything he says is a lie.
Marc Rudov telling it like it is. EJ and Tony, thank you guys.
You bet.